Good evening. It is July the 28th, 2021, and we are surrounded by each other on this Zoom call, listening to the track drop from our 2021 Junior Composers Institute. My name is Randall Davidson, and I've asked all of our guests to change to their first name and their pronoun. But as we begin this program, we're going to be listening to 19 premieres and a conversation that would follow each of those premieres. What I would like to invite all of our guests to do is to unmute when they have something to say and wait until they're called on. All I need is a wave and I'll be able to call on you. I would love to hear conversations after each one of the pieces. Your observations, your memories of putting these pieces together. And please remember that these were our creative projects. These are not highly produced recordings that we will now go to Warner Brothers to try to get onto a streaming service somewhere. We are all of us creative people, and we've put together a program of creative projects. And the purpose of Junior Composers Institute is to realize, to create, to revise, and then to give the spirit of all of these compositions. And I think we'll be surprised and moved and made hopeful going forward into the history of music. Because I think each one of you who've helped create a piece on this program have been making music history. You might not have known that, but this is the byproduct of all the work that you've put in. This is going to be a historic event. If nothing else, you'll remember this for a while. Let me add this one person. There we are. So there's a couple of things I'd like to review for our audiences, not just here, but on the folks who are going to be looking at this on YouTube, on the Composers Online Institute website and our channel. Junior Composers is a summer program run by a small band of composers and supporters with a great deal of support from North Central region of the National Federation of Music Clubs. A great number of those people who have been helpful to us are on this call today, and we really salute them. I would like all of us unmute and give a round of applause. Thank you for your support. Our first piece on the program is Iggy Rosado's Gazelles for piano trio. And this is one of the pieces that was performed on Saturday, this past Saturday, in River Falls. It's called an acoustic piece. It's Gazelles. Thank you. I don't think Iggy's here. I don't know for sure. But I'll recall one thing that happened during this piece. We got the parts about an hour before we performed the piece. It was harrowing and it was exciting at the same time. It was a lovely piece, but Sarah and I would like to do this again with a little bit more rehearsal. And it's just, I found it was very much like Gazelle's. They change their mind very quickly from one thing to the next. So I thought that was great. And I love the comments in the chat box. Anybody have anything to say? Any comments? No.
I just
All right.
thought it was really good, and I just wish he was here so I could tell him how good I think it is.
I think he's going to pick up on this. It'll be on YouTube pretty soon.
I love it too.
Oh, I really like the it was like only a few measures, but it was like this really almost like stereotypically tragic section.
Yeah.
And then it went back to like all like peppy and bouncy.
Another Gazelle hit the dust is what I'm afraid to say. It did have that tragic moment in the piece. All right, let's go on to the next piece. Eric, what's the title? Oh, this is The Calm Before the Storm. It's a lovely 2-piano piece, Calm Before the Storm. It's an acoustic performance that we did in River Falls. Caleb, do you want to say anything about this piece? Is it about the thunderstorms that pass over Crookston, Minnesota?
Not quite. It was just, Dr. Miller and we were trying to come up with some idea for a piece on Monday because I didn't have anything yet. And she was like, well, name an emotion or a feeling. And I had come up with serene, and she was like, she'd come up with a whole bunch of ideas that were similar to serene. There's like, a complete calm, but there was also like an eerie type of calm that comes before a storm. And so when I was writing the piece, I was thinking calm before the storm. And so I just ran with that and made a piece which has a calm, and a storm at the end, of course. So that was really the story of the piece. Yeah.
And it started because you didn't have a single idea.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's an amazing piece of music. Let's listen to it. Caleb, you have such stylish conducting. I have to say, the most beautiful conducting the entire week. Your hands are so expressive, very nicely done. And it's absolutely one of my favorite pieces I heard as it was being practiced. People were really practicing their parts. Sam and Stephen, I loved hearing the piece as it came together. I'd had no idea what was going to happen at the end. It was gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Terrific job.
Thank you so much.
And I hope you're happy with your first 2 piano piece. You can play it there in Crookston, right?
Maybe not Crookston, but maybe in the town over.
Okay.
What's the
Somewhere where
town
there's
over?
2 pianos in one room.
Closest one with enough pianists and pianos would be Grand Forks, North Dakota.
And you know what was interesting is we found out one of the things we talked about, Caleb, was how large was the composing community in Crookston, Minnesota? What was the final number that we came up with?
I think it was 2.
I think so far it's 2. You have to go hunting, go to
Yes,
coffee shops more
yes.
often.
Iggy just got here.
Iggy, we played your piece just about 4 minutes ago. We started it. We're going to be putting this video, this Zoom video on we're going to be putting it on our website. So you'll be able to listen to the whole track. And also we'll be putting it on our YouTube channel as well. Are there any other comments?
Caleb, I think that was incredible. I thought I really, really, really liked that. It's one of my favorite pieces I've ever heard from junior composers. And there's been some good stuff here. It was really good.
Thank you.
The next piece is by Zeka Brandau, and it's called Cycle. It is in rehearsal. I think it's always interesting to hear how pieces come together. In the first Wednesday night rehearsal, I did not have to practice or play during the one segment, 15-minute segment, that this piece was being read for the first time. And it was enchanting as much as it is on the final salon. It was wonderful. It just completely compels one to listen to the next thing as it unfolds. It's just beautiful. Let's listen to Zeka's piece. You couldn't understand my fingering, what I was doing with my fingers. It's the only piece that was plucked. Piano was plucked from the inside. That's great. Yes, anyone have any comments? I'm looking around. That's what-
Zecco, I wonder, Zecco, what inspired you, especially with that lovely inside the piano?
I didn't come up with that. That was Sarah. Sarah suggested that.
But
It
Zecco
worked.
went with it. It worked.
It worked. In fact, it's one of my favorite parts. Zecca, we were talking about how at some point you suddenly have the piano and the violin play loud, and then you return to this very lovely melody. What was the thinking behind that?
Where? I don't know.
Bum 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 bum, and then back to lilting and bum 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 bum, back into a fairly loud, and then back. Do you remember what we were talking about?
Yeah. I think I just wrote the dynamics a little bit weird.
They were very nice. They
It
worked.
worked.
It worked.
Thank you.
So yeah, I just wanted to say I'm a big fan of the dum da dum da dum da dum part. I just thought that was great. It was a great moment of contrast with everything else. I thought it was I thought this piece was great.
Yeah, I did too. Really good. Let's go to the next piece. All right, this is Tanya's piece. It is one of the things we allowed every composer to decide for themselves whether they're in River Falls or whether they were at home online. This allowed everyone to use a digital audio workstation or a DAW to create a piece. And this is another storm. This is another storm that we're going to be listening to. This is Tanya Arun, and it's for piano and bassoon. And Tanya plays bassoon. We're going to listen to this now. Tanya, do you want to tell us anything about this piece to listen to it?
I basically wrote everything that I would say on the slide, so I don't have anything else.
You don't want to say anything else.
We
this about-
we
is this
loved
a-
having Tanya online.
Yeah.
Tanya came to every class.
She did.
You rock, Tanya.
Gold standard of attendance and coming to here and being part of everything. Did you write this about just the idea of a storm, or was there a specific experience that you had?
I just thought of it, like I wrote
I think
for it, and I came up with Thunderstorm.
That's great. And did the title follow the creation of the piece?
I made like the whole piece before I came up with the title.
Excellent. I do. That's the best way to name a piece. Don't write the title until you know what it is. So that's a great idea. All right, let's listen to Tanya's piece.
so nice to hear your music, Tanya, after seeing your face, and I didn't get to work with
Thank
you. And
you.
I'm just thrilled to hear your piece. Was it fun to be able to accompany yourself using the dog?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, you did a great job. This is wonderful.
Have you ever used a DAW before?
Yeah, I make like I use GarageBand. I make songs on that sometimes, but I've never like actually like recorded a composition with one, but I've recorded like other stuff too, so it wasn't entirely new for me.
But putting in an acoustic instrument, have you done that before?
Um,
Like in a bassoon?
yeah,
Yeah, you have.
yeah.
What did you learn that was different from what you've done before during camp this year?
I use like two so I had like the piano and the bassoon part. So like while recording the bassoon, I like muted the like part that had like the I don't know what it's called, like in the notation software I use, you can like download the audio for that. So I
Right.
downloaded like two separate ones, and I muted the bassoon part for it and like played along to the piano part, and I haven't like done that before,
Oh,
but I'm probably gonna use that now, like when I record more stuff.
thank you. Any other comments? It was lovely, Tanya. Yep.
Thank you.
Let's do the next piece.
அந்த மெயில் இருக்கா பாரு.
There we go. Anthony, I think you should talk a little bit about the title, and I know it's what you've written here is a great program note, but tell us a little bit about how this came about. What was the genesis? What started you writing about this piece?
Okay, so as you can see on the thing, it says it was inspired by John Williams. So I was basically, well, I'm a John Williams fan, so I listen to a lot of his music, but this one in particular is his ET melody. And so if you listen in the piece, John Williams likes to repeat lots of things in ET. So the same two measures over and over again, just in different notes. And so some of those melodies are like mine. And so I just got the inspiration from him, and then that's where I got the moon, because ET's from space and then the moon's in space. So and then it's beautiful in some places, and I don't know, I really liked it. I really liked writing it, and I really liked performing it with the performers. And I called it the dancing moon because it's like there's a lot of rhythms, and it was called the beauty of the moon at one point, but it's like not, yeah, I don't know. It has a lot of rhythm stuff. So I thought it should be called the dancing moon. I like the title. So
Could you remind me what the melody of ET is that you remember?
like just for me, do you want me to sing it?
Yeah, yeah.
Ba da 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 da. Da 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 da.
I remember that was in the first lesson. You said this is sort of related to that, and we figured out the notes. Sort of like our melodic dictation. We knew what the tune was. We just didn't know what the notes were. And he writes really sticky tunes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's listen to the Dancing Moon.
What I love about Anthony's piece is that he put canon in it
I
very
know.
effectively. It was
Had a
great.
good teacher.
That's right. I smiled when every time we did that canon and knew, oh, something stuck.
Mm.
Very good. What what I thought was interesting is when you sang the ET theme, it's exactly the same notes in the same key as when we started the piece. I didn't know if you knew that. Do you have perfect pitch?
No, but
No,
I knew.
well, it's relative.
No, I mean, I knew that was, I was trying to do that, but yeah.
It worked. It worked. I thought Caleb's playing was really great because all of a sudden you have to be there and there's syncopated things going on. And there was hocketing going on. Did you see that, Sarah? You're muted.
Yeah, totally. Hocket. And
Hocket,
I
meaning
mentioned that to some other people too, that they need to know what Hocket is. Didn't I tell Ayush about Hocket? I think so.
I think it
Yep.
was. There was a hocket, a hiccup. Okay, anyone else? I'd love to hear. And do you have anything else, Mr. Petrokonis? Did you have anything else you'd like to add? Any other composers that influenced you?
No, not really. I mean, I don't know. I just composed. Well, I just thought of John Williams and then composed, and then I don't know.
I
Then
think
like even some of the like Sarah, like even some of the classes gave me ideas. So like Sarah's class, like the canon, that gave me the idea of the canon. I tried to do good harmonies, like Randall did the alternate harmony things. I tried, yeah. So I tried to influence some sort of what I learned in classes into the piece.
it was evident and a complete endorsement of the teachers. I appreciate that.
It made us very happy.
Very happy. All right, let's do the next piece. Unless someone has anything to say.
I just wanted to
Someone
add.
asked a question in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I asked if you could explain hocketing for the non-musicians.
I'm going to leave that to Sarah.
Hocketing, it's very hard to perform. So it's like one instrument has some notes with rests in between them. And when that instrument is resting, the other instruments play. So it ends up this kind of hiccup thing. You have to have at least two people to do hocket. And it's really tricky, but fun to listen to.
Thank you.
It does mean
You're welcome.
It does mean hiccup because you're going big, 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 big. And I think we've heard, actually, I heard a little bit of that in a couple of pieces this past week. We didn't teach hiccuping. That just came naturally. Let's do the next piece, Eric. Oh, yes. Clara, I still don't know how to pronounce this. Could you tell us?
Yeah, it's a French word. It's pronounced rêver. It means, at least I think, it means like to dream, I'm pretty sure.
And did you come up with the title after or before writing the piece?
So I made the piece, I finished it, and then I was like, this kind of sounds like a dream or like a dream sequence, but I wanted to like, I guess, spice up the name more. So I was like, hey, I'll just, make it French. So that was my thing.
And that does spice it up. I have to, Italian could have worked, but really, if you want to be spicy, French, that's good. And I think it's a lovely tune. I didn't hear any of the rehearsals. I think you and I exchanged greetings a couple of times. So I'd like to know what started your writing and when did you finish your piece?
So I didn't really, at first I didn't really have too much of an inspiration. I did know that I wanted it in D flat major. That was the only thing I really knew. But I also knew that I wanted string instruments in it, not necessarily a quartet. So I ended up just having piano and violin and viola there. And I finished it, let me think. I think it was, shoot, because we started rehearsing on a Wednesday. It might have been, I think I sent out the final copy on Friday, but I finished it before then. So maybe like Thursday night. I don't
Thursday
really
night?
remember. But
And no, isn't it funny how time compresses?
yeah. Yeah.
We did the first reading starting at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. You had Thursday night and you had Friday all day.
Yeah.
If you'd had more pennies, instead of just the 10 that you got to spend on at the draft on Tuesday night, what would you have spent it on? More strings?
I probably like, it would have been cool to have, and if I could have had like even like 2 violins, I know like you couldn't, but that would have been cool, or like maybe a cello or something. Like, I don't know, just more strings. But I think it was good with violin and viola.
I think it was really good. For folks who don't know how we do this, everyone is given 10 pennies. On Tuesday night, they have to bid in what's called the musician's draft. And you get to pick what players you want, but you only have 10 pennies and you're bidding against everyone else. And the purpose of that is both to be aware of your composers always have to have limited resources. And, can't just write for everybody. You could have written for 1,000 symphony members. There are only 19 of us, so there would never get 1,000. But it actually, you have to be creative with the forces that you've got available to you. And I think Claire did a great job accomplishing a lot of creativity with just 3 instruments. Let's hear it. Oh, snap. Clara. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Gorgeous piece. Fun to play too.
I don't know what to say. That was just beautiful. And it's interesting when you're in the moment, and I'm pretty sure I was thinking about the next piece or something, or the last piece. I don't remember how beautiful and how exquisite that writing is. It's really great. I think both string players would have been made better if they'd had a cello, but that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, and I knew I wanted them. I didn't know if I could get like more people, and so many people were bidding on you already. So I was like, I don't think it's gonna happen. But it really worked out, and I'm glad that Lucas and Sam got to do it, and Sarah too. That was cool.
I know they played it. They really did a good job. Really good job. Have you written for strings before?
No.
Is that right? Have you written? How many pieces have you written? Do you think you could count?
Oh, I don't. Sarah's maybe. I don't even think. Like, maybe.
You've written mostly piano pieces.
Yeah, I've written just. I don't know exactly how many, but it's just been like for one piano, all of them.
At least a half a dozen, and they're each quite unique. Clara doesn't ever write the same piece twice. I love that about working with her.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're all unique and great harmonies, always great harmonies.
I would bet at this age, when you're younger than 20, every piece is an exploration in something new. In some case, either the instrument or the tempo or the harmonies that you're using. It's a great time to explore and try all sorts of crazy ideas. And this was not a crazy idea. This was a dream. Really nice. Thanks, Clara.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments? Clara, could you pronounce the word one more time?
Yeah, it's pronounced rêver.
Gosh, down in Missouri, we call it reaver, but okay. All right, let's listen to the next piece. Sky, are you with us today? Sarah and was it Mary Kate were the teachers that worked with Sky on creating this piece. Is that right? And could you tell us a little bit about how this piece came into being?
Well, this piece was really interesting. Sky had never worked with a DAW before, a digital audio workstation. And very definitely that is what Sky wanted to do, and not write for traditional instruments. And we were lucky enough that we were able to use the computers in the computer music lab because they had keyboards hooked up to them. And I had brought a mic so we could record some different things that she wanted. So she'd said, one time she said, I want you to sigh and we will record the sigh. So the sigh you hear is mine. She wanted kind of white noise, and we figured out we could crinkle a bag and do some different things to get her some interesting sounds. And she did write a melody, but then she did some things in GarageBand to it that were really cool that I think she learned from Eric. So it's a really interesting piece, and she had a whole idea of how it was all supposed to go together. And I think her end result is really intriguing. Very cool piece.
Would you call this programmatic music? Or I think I never knew any of this language on this slide that she created. I heard it as a composition, and I think I was sitting on a bed in a dorm room and listened to this thing on a phone, and it keeps going and you keep leaning into this piece. It's really unusual.
Yeah, well, and I know she started with the concept of paranoia, and and she wanted to take something kind of ordinary and do stuff with it. So you're gonna like it. Let's listen.
Yeah, let's listen.
So many of you hadn't ever heard what she did.
Oh,
It's pretty remarkable. And I think some of you are going to think, I want to do that next time.
why didn't I get to do that?
Why didn't I get to do that?
That
She's
that
an
is
amazing young composer.
fantastic. I heard more this time than the last two times I've listened to it. It is really interesting because it's sort of it's very simple, but there's canon. Did you hear that, Sarah? Did you hear the canon?
I didn't.
I think I recognize canon.
There might have been. There's a lot of thought that went into this. And I would go in and help her and do a few things, and then she would just hang out in the lab. And she's like a mad scientist in the computer lab. I love what she came up with.
Eric, did you help her on the sounds? Yes.
No, I didn't. So I was completely shocked right now to hear.
But I think she went to your classes to learn how to do this stuff.
I know.
She had a Chromebook and couldn't download a DOS, so we had to get her in the lab. But boy, did she fly with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send her an email. She's like,
Mhm.
why didn't you tell me about this?
Well,
the
we
heck?
hope she'll come back again. Mary Kate, thanks for bringing her.
Mary
Get her
Kate,
to sign up.
tell us a little bit about what you knew about Sky before she came into this camp, JCI.
So I actually just met Sky this June with a composition camp that I did in Mason City, Iowa. This piece is 100% different than what she wrote with me in June. And it's so cool. But then she also, the boo boo doo doo, is an allusion to the piece that she wrote with me.
What?
Yeah, she took a little snippet of the piece that she wrote with me and put it in there. And originally it was just a tag at the end. And then we talked about how we can incorporate it to make it more intentional in her piece. And so it's like that just adds a whole other layer to it.
Oh my.
So,
And the whole narrative of the piece as well. It's all thought through. It's almost like a game or a movie score. It's just a very interesting, intense, but very internal thing. It's really cool. I love it.
I think it really makes you think too. It makes me think. So I think it's really neat and I'm really proud of her.
I am too. You know that these tracks will be on both our website and the YouTube channel. Mary Kate, you can listen to it again. That's what I'm saying. We'll have the slides you can look at and read carefully, understanding how humans are hypnotized and they take over, and then who turned off the radio? I don't know. Was there a radio playing? I just think it's great. Terrific. Let's do the next one.
What is the picture that's in the background there?
It looks like fingers on the right side of the slide.
And on the left, there's like a woman's face or something.
Oh, right.
And it's a skeleton.
This is the kind of thing that true artists start creating things like this and then go with it. It is really interesting. It's very exciting.
Looks like someone is taking off the top of their own head or something. Looks like they're taking off their scalp like a hat.
And all of these slides, if I'm not mistaken, all of the slides are the composer's work. I'm thinking they get to choose what they want to show, right?
Yep.
Wow. Maybe it's best she's not here, that we can talk about her all the time. She would be really shy. She's shy. She's quiet. I don't think she's shy. I think that's the difference I learned this time.
Not shy, reticent.
Not shy. Reticent, quiet. Let's do the next thing. Okay. Here we go. I would love to have Charles Plant, or Charlie Plant, as he's known at camp, among his friends. Please, Charlie, could you tell us a little bit about the mythology behind this?
Yes, I can.
Thank
you. Prometheus and the Theft of Fire is a myth about a Titan Prometheus stealing fire for mankind. And the piece kind of represents him running back up and down from Mount Olympus and his struggle to return fire to humanity. And the end is kind of bittersweet because since Prometheus created humanity and he was freed after eons of punishment, he was kind of bittersweet to see how long they had progressed and how much they didn't need him anymore. But otherwise, there's a lot of mood changes and tempo changes because the myth can switch very rapidly between subjects.
Charlie, what I was struck by putting this piece together is that the tempi are relatively slow, aren't they?
Yeah.
And yet, when you come away listening to this and looking at the score and then experience the piece, it sounds like there's a ton of stuff going on. But the pulse, Mary Kate, you were conducting this piece. Did you find that true to be true as well?
The pulse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes back and forth between 4/4 and 6/8 and 3/4. It's a complex piece. Scared all of us a lot. Are you ready to play it, Eric? Charlie, you're supposed to bow. Well, that was, as I listen to this recording, I'm listening to Sarah just knock it out of the park. Home run, first swing, boom, it's like a rocket. Fantastic, Sarah. Congratulations.
It was terrifying. But, you know, I kept saying, it's whole tone. You know how to do whole tone.
I think there were 6 sharps, 3 flats, 14 negatives. I just don't have any. It changed a lot. Charlie, have you written pieces like this a lot, or is this a new experiment for you?
It was definitely an experiment.
And speaking as a scientist, wearing a blue blazer on a Saturday morning, how did it turn out?
It was pretty good.
And I love your timpani playing. That was really sweet. It works. It's not an ensemble I would have thought of, but it really worked.
It really does. Iggy did a terrific job.
So
And
did you, Randall.
And who was that conductor? My God.
You were so good, so helpful.
Thank you. The whole time, I don't know if you watched my mouth, but the whole time I had to count silently to myself because like Randall was talking about that pulse. I just like, it's hard. It's hard to keep. That's probably one of the hardest pieces I've ever conducted.
It was, I think you can't do more sharps than we were playing. They turn into double sharps if you keep going. That's crazy. It's a very exciting piece to play. I really enjoyed it. And I know you were skeptical right down to the performance. Weren't you, Charlie?
I wouldn't say skeptical.
What would you say?
I'm not sure.
Nervous.
Yeah,
Were you anxious or nervous?
probably nervous. I just get nervous for everything for no reason.
Oh, honey bunch, we all get nervous all the time. But did we forge ahead and make it happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I want to hear. That's the formidable powers that were brought to bear on your piece. And I was so pleased to play it. Also, like nothing else, nobody else had a piece like you. Everything you've heard today so far is unique. And you said just now, Charlie, isn't it? You've never done a piece like that before? Charlie?
No, I have not.
Are you going to try again?
Maybe.
We'll see. I congratulate all of the players. And so far, I'm just knocked out. It was all of these pieces have been a home run. Fantastic. Let's do the next one, Eric, Mr. DJ. Okay. Joe, I need you to tell a little bit of a story.
Oh, what story is that?
The story of the genesis of the piece has a prelude. You started a piece before we heard this piece. What was the other piece that we are not going to hear tonight?
That is like kind of a cursed piece, but no, I started in a doll project on GarageBand, and then like it got deleted on Thursday afternoon. But then I started this one, and I had a lot of ideas though leading up to this one. And it's all about like memory and stuff. So yeah, and memory loss too.
Tell me who Mary Jane Cale is to you.
Mary Jane Cale is my grandma, and yeah, she had dementia. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I was inspired kind of by that. And then just like, I went down like a wormhole on YouTube of home videos. And I just thought all about like the memories that, I don't know, are kind of like trapped in that like little sector of the internet. So I don't know, I thought it was just fitting to have like memories be playing as the piece played.
I really would be interested at the end, on the other side of this piece, to hear if anyone had memories of these sounds that we're going to hear. These are movies. Eric, did we have a chance to put the movie on this track drop? Eric? Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Thank you.
We will witness it all. It looks great.
All right, let's hear / see this composition. Mary, say her name again for me.
Mary Jane Kale.
And she lived in Los Angeles?
No, she lived in Rock Island, Illinois.
I thought so. But the pictures are from Los Angeles, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I think probably the sounds of home movies are the same no matter where they come from. Terrific. Let's listen.
Where's your glasses, man? They're up, man. Where's your scooter, man? Broken. What happened to it? It just blew out on me.
Oh, Francine did. What do you want to see? Hector.
Orlando? What are you doing? It's recording. Recording? Yeah.
You push red button?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
That's recording.
Get away from me.
Never.
Get away!
Ready? It is recording. Audrey.
Gina.
And the cameraman, Gilbert. Professional style. Here's a gangster.
Go down that
Is now in Cops
and make
Cops
the
and
first one to make a left. And the first one to make a
Bad boy, bad boy.
right. You go to the third house.
This is Louis. You think he's a gangster? But you don't know shit.
Whew. Remember, you were not happy on Thursday.
Yeah.
Saturday, how did you feel?
I was really happy with it. I thought it went well.
Besides the fact that you learned to save after every file, after you do something like that, what do you learn
Yeah.
about you?
I don't know. I think that I can make some like cool sounds and like stuff that I think is cool, and not that I like think that other people will think is cool.
Well, I think what I learned from you was out of disaster, what it looks like a car crashing in headfirst into a wall, and that there's nothing you can do, that there's reservoirs of expression in each of us that we barely have gotten into. This was quite a moving piece, Joe.
Thanks.
Very powerful.
Thank you. It's...
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. And thank you for putting the film in, Eric. You know, you're a genius, Eric.
I am such a genius for clicking on the video that Casey uploaded. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I pressed play though.
Just take the compliment and acknowledge that, yes, you are a genius.
Okay.
Eric's a genius.
Eric's a genius.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Let's hear the next piece. Okay. This is an interesting piece for the very fact that I don't think any one of us has heard it. We've heard, if you were to put together a mosaic and think that every part of that mosaic, a little square that big, was part of a larger mosaic, I think that's what this is, Ayush. Could you tell us a little bit about the genesis of the idea and the realization of this idea? Could you do that?
Sure. So my piece is called Aurora, obviously, as you can see on the slide. This is my first year at JCI, so I had no idea like what to expect going into it. And when when I was thinking about what I'd write for my piece, I was looking for inspiration. So naturally, I turned and listened to other pieces of music that I enjoy. And I grew up in the concert band world. I play a variety of wind instruments. So naturally, I went and listened to concert band pieces. And the two that really stuck with me, helped inspire this piece, were both about Aurora. One was Aurora Awakes by John Mackey, and the other one was Aurora Borealis by Rosanna Galante. And so that's how I came up with the idea of the piece.
And how was it realized? We see all of these names here, but we are not hearing them in an acoustic performance per se. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so working on the piece was really interesting because I was playing 3 of the 6 tracks in the piece. And so we recorded so that I would record 2 tracks separately. I played a clarinet track and a bass clarinet track, and then recorded everybody else together on another track. And it was really interesting because I really didn't have much experience with a DAW, having to go in and then piece everything together from all the different takes that we had. And we had takes where we would record only a section of the piece, and different takes where we would record the whole piece. So it was really interesting to go into the DAW and then like piecing all of those takes together to have like a finalized, realized piece out of it. I've never done it before. It was like really good experience to have.
I think it is. It's a fabulous experience. Was it easy, hard, or somewhere in between?
I wouldn't say it was super challenging, but I think it was a bit of tedious work because there's some stuff that was just not lining up and like having to do a lot of small adjustments and things like that, especially because I wasn't used to it. I think that part was difficult, but now that I'm more used to working with a DAW, I think I could execute projects much quicker, much quicker.
Excellent. Does it sound the way you intended it to?
I think it sounds very close. For what we had, like we rehearsed for maybe an hour and a half. Plus that was plus like recording time. I think it sounds really good.
Excellent. Let's listen to Aurora by Ayush Asia.
You're muted, Randall.
That doesn't matter because all I said was Ayush. Ayush, 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 Ayush. That was amazing. And to
Thank you.
who else? Who would be able to speak as a performer? What it was like to perform in this piece? Who would like to say something? I'd like to hear from the performer's point of view.
Well,
Mary Kate, Stephen, come on.
Well, I'd say like that it was really fun. I'll just tell you that. Like as a performer playing it. I know as the trumpet I got quite a bit less than the other woodwind instruments, and seeing them kind of losing their minds was fun. Not gonna lie, but it was tough. There was tough in a lot of places, but thank goodness, like because of like the recording and stuff, we got time to like take it in different places, and I think the end result was pretty good.
I think so too. What do you mean that the woodwinds were losing their minds? Please.
I mean like there were parts like I don't know, like I think it was with the clarinets where they were like jumping up and down, like going like doing all these like arpeggios and stuff, and all I'm doing is playing some like melody, like kind of simple maybe in the background, or playing that more louder notes, not necessarily kind of like very fluid.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell on those parts there was quite a bit of struggle.
Were those pre-recorded, or these are ones that were in the room with you at the same time?
No, they were in the room with me at the same time.
And who was conducting these performances?
Sarah.
Sarah?
Yeah, I would just like to say Sarah did an incredible job conducting. Yeah, I made a click track for the piece, and it has a lot of time signature changes, everything from a 2/4 to 7/8, and she really held us together.
Well, then let's give her
I did my best. It was my first time conducting with a click track, and it was not as bad as I thought it would be. There was just one spot at the end where we had to figure out what was going on. But once we did, it all worked. And I'm impressed with how you put it all together, Ayush, because we didn't know how the piece went from beginning to end until just now.
Why is that, Sarah? Why didn't you understand how the whole piece went?
Well, Ayush had recorded 2 of the parts, and then he said, let's do this part now, and now let's do this part, and now let's do this part. And we did some of that on Friday, I think, and then we did we had different times that we came and did it. And then it was, I have these ones that work okay, and now we need to do these ones. And yeah, I know Mary Kate was a little frustrated at times, but it all came together.
Mary Kate, you have to confess how you felt about this. Come on.
Okay, it was just out of my comfort zone. I've never done anything like that before, and I was very stressed because I wanted to do it well. And so, yeah, but I thought it was really cool to hear it all come together because, yeah, like everybody else has said, we didn't get to hear it. We just did little snippets, and so it was cool to hear how all the parts came together. And because I had heard it on a MIDI track, but I didn't hear how we did, and it was really neat.
I think the conception of this was so clear in his mind. So I really want to delve into the psychology of Ayush. What's your major going to be at Lawrence University?
I'm going to do composition and psychology.
Ah, there we go. Psychology. Now I get it. That would the conception of this was abstract to others. To you, it was real, wasn't it, from the beginning?
Yep. Yeah. And I've done a lot of such rehearsals, like maybe not in this format, but a lot of such rehearsals with ensembles, because I do a lot of arranging in my time, and I arrange for various groups all the time. So I'm typically working with a group doing something or some project or another. So I have some experience in this. And I think it was really interesting for the performer's perspective also, because we didn't really run the piece down maybe once or twice. So they really didn't get to hear the piece from start to finish, even as performers. So I think they did really great for whatever they had, executing on that.
I'm so impressed. Thank you so much, Ayush. That was real. I thought it was fantastic. Did you?
Yeah, I thought it went really well.
I think it went really well. Really well. Let's listen to the next piece. I can't believe all the things that were so different so far about these pieces. Now I'm hoping that the next piece is exactly like Ayusha's piece. No, that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. The person whose back is to us, who is blissing out in a aqua green shirt, is the composer of this piece. Now, it should be known that he's not conducting his own piece in this picture. This piece is by Tim. Now, you're going to have to pronounce the name. What's your last name pronounced, Tim?
Guillaume.
That's what I say. But others have said, no, it's Gilliam. Is it Guillaume?
It's Guillaume.
That's all right. Good. That's what I wanted.
My dad's family thinks it's Gilliam, but my mom, my sister, and I think it's Guillaume.
I believe it is Guillaume. Just to add a little spice to the name, it was Guillaume. All right. So what does Dial Soap have to do with this?
Not very much. We just laughed about it all the time through camp.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about this piece.
Well, I guess I sort of started thinking about it after the first day on Sunday at JCI, and I was just in my dorm, just kind of relaxing, and then I sort of came up with it, and then it just kind of flowed along. And in this piece, I've always sort of liked and have used atonality and not being in a definite key, but this time I was trying to make things sound very lyrical and sensuous without it being like I was trying to make atonality like be lyrical, and I think it worked. And yeah.
I also think the hold on a second. Now that one. I don't know what happened here, but I'm aware that you got a chance to write for pipe organ, and that was exciting too as well. Tell us the instruments that you play, Tim.
Well, I play the piano, the percussion, and the organ. So I used the organ in this one, and I played the organ that was there at UW River Falls.
Which is, we've never had in pipe organ during junior composers at all, because we don't ever have a pipe organ. You also play violin?
Not well, and I haven't had any training. I just sort of learned my mom's old violin and kind of played a little bit.
All right, let's listen to this piece in the unexpected key of G minor. Movement number 1, is that correct? There's going to be ultimately more movements?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Tim, how did it turn out?
I think it turned out great, and the performers were all great. Thank you, guys.
Sam isn't here to speak for himself. How did you feel, Mary Kate?
I really liked some of those clarinet lines in there. You wrote really well for the clarinet because obviously the clarinet's a great instrument, but you had some really beautiful melodies in there that I just like. I love playing melodies like the kind that you played on the clarinet because it always just works really well.
And I loved the violin cello unisons. That was so simple and so effective. And very seldom would I say that your music is simple, but it was always effective. So I really enjoyed the piece very much, playing the cellist. I thought the conductor should get some special credit. Joe, could you put your camera on, please?
Yes, Joe, you were also great.
Joe.
Very great.
Now that it looks easy. It is not. Joe, there we go. I can't see you, but I know you're in there somewhere. There we go. I thought your conducting was good. I remember that you never played guitar or never played percussion before. Bowed vibraphone. You played a number of things. You wrote for bowed vibraphone. You conducted. What other pieces did you play in that you played an instrument you've never played before?
Shrouded Sky, I know Landon's piece. And
Exactly.
I never conducted. Yeah.
You did a great job. You know, I told you this. The musicians get paid like nothing, no money, but conductors really get rich. So to keep it up, you'll make some money.
Okay, yeah, I liked the quote you told me. You said, conductors make money, musicians make music. I thought that was funny.
It's true, but it's true. It is true. I was very good. Tim, I'm sort of stunned to hear something in G minor from you. That's what I'm just sort of befuddled by. Keep up the good work. Try G major next time. All right, let's go on to the next piece. Thank you, Tim. That was great. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there some significance to that slide? There's a frog, there's some dial soap, and then there's you.
Well, there's the picture of me dancing around to Stephen's piece, which is foreshadowing to Stephen's piece.
Yes.
There was just, to the people just joining us, me and a few other people, we're creating this play, or well, it's not really a play, it's this whole crossbreed of things. And dial soap was included in it, and it's been very prominent. So I felt that I should mention it.
Okay, so do you have a title for this new piece?
Sort of. Me and Landon came up with the Orchestral Wars, but we're not sure yet, but that's what we're calling it right now.
That's a working title. And you're going to keep going, you're going to keep working on this while we're not in only virtual contact with each other?
Yeah.
Excellent. I want to hear that piece. I want to hear that piece. Eric, let's go to the next piece if we can. Oh, yes. I've been waiting to hear this piece. This is by Florence. Are you able to talk to us, Florence?
Yeah.
Tell us about this piece.
Well, as you can see, I took inspiration from music from Splatoon, and I feel like I didn't put as much effort into this one as I did last year, so it doesn't sound as good. It's kind of just the same melody copy pasted over and over again.
So you're saying it's not as much work. Is it effective? Does it work as a piece of music?
Well, yeah, it does. But like last year, I even added vocals and stuff. This year, it's just I did everything in the DAW. I didn't use anything outside of it.
And can you tell us a little bit about
It's good.
Ramelia Scarlet? Scarlet, I don't know the name.
Oh, she's a character from a video game.
And you've taken that as the inspiration last year and again this year, and I think they're really evocative. And that's a complimentary word, by the way. It speaks with a voice that's very clear, and I really appreciated last year. I'm looking forward to this year. I've heard none of it so far. So would you like to tell us anything else that would help us appreciate what you've written?
No.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
That was so good. That was so good. I loved that. That was so good. I thought that was so good.
What do you think, Xander?
That was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Eric, do you want to say anything?
I can't take credit for this because I didn't even work with Florence on it.
I know, but this.
Oh, do you want to hear my?
Yes.
I wish I could take credit for this, but I didn't work with Florence on this.
You
I wish I had any. No, I had so much fun because Florence worked with Jordan this year, and we worked together last year. So I think that was Florence's first. Oh, not Florence. You knew Cakewalk before camp last year, but
But I never really wrote anything in it. Like, I knew how to use it, but you know.
So last year, Florence was exploring it and came up with something that was really cool and used a lot of different layers and sounds, and you know, she made like fat beats and stuff. And then this year, it was just fun to hear Florence make something again, but just like it's like she just dropped a single and I just clicked on it without knowing anything going into it. It's so fun. She has her own vibe.
I think
And
so.
we should
And there's
make more stuff like this. And yeah, put it on SoundCloud for sure.
absolutely there's some subtleties in this piece that I don't think were present. There's a little very small background stuff that's going on. The chord changes are really tasty, really tasty, very nicely done, unexpected. I thought that was really, it's very conventional in a certain way, very simple in another way, but really there's full of nuance. I really loved it, Florence. That's great. Really good. Thank you. Anyone else have to say something?
It was so good.
Yes.
So good.
So good. So good. You want to say anything else, or do you want to hear anything else, Florence? Oh, hello?
Well, thank you for all your compliments. I'll try to make more stuff.
More stuff. That's maybe the only critical thing we had to say. More stuff. More. Good. Let's go on to the next piece, Eric. Landon. This is nothing like I've heard from you before. Really interesting. Tell us a little bit about this.
I wanted to evoke a feeling of apprehension and uncertainty, and sort of reminiscent of a coming storm.
How would you describe your previous pieces as compared to this?
Previous pieces for JCI, I think, have been a lot lighter in mood.
Very much
mirthful.
Very much so, and really attractive. Well done. Why this feeling? Is this something just you have not done this before? You want to try something new?
No, not necessarily. I just I've had feelings like this before, strange, unknown forebodings that I just can't quite put a finger on why. So I thought it'd be fun to try to explore that feeling with music.
Really effective. How old are you now?
16.
This comes with the age, man. I'm just
yeah.
Let's hear it. Wow. That's very powerful and beautifully done. The pacing on that, to do something slow and do it well, really hard. And you did a great job with that, Landon. Nice job.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Anybody have a comment? Sharon, you had a really good comment. Would you like to elaborate on that? You're still muted, Sharon. You're still muted.
Yeah, I know.
There we go.
Takes a while for this little thing to get over there.
Okay.
Elaborate, I don't know. I mean, that music, sometimes there are things that you can't express, and I think that's what you were saying when you were beforehand, that there was something inside of you and that you needed to get out. And this was just the best way to do it. Words could not have expressed. That's why you couldn't say it. That's why they were inside of you. But you found a way to get those feelings out. It's just beautiful.
Mm. Mm.
Thank you.
I would just like to say I really enjoyed playing your piece. It's really fun to play the bass clarinet. I play bass clarinet in concert band. So I'm used to playing a lot of really boring bass clarinet parts, but yours is really exceptionally written. It's not, normal that you get to play something that's really unique and makes the bass clarinet shine. So I thought that was really great.
It's really exceptional.
Thanks. Yeah, bass clarinet is awesome.
And all bass clarinetists agree with you on that one point.
Most definitely.
You ready, Eric? Shrouded Sky. Oh yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. This is amazing.
So
Hey,
Xander should probably speak on this, and they are
Yes.
going to also be sharing a video. So let's Xander, take it away.
Yeah, okay, so this is so I've been working on a movie score for the past year. If you have been at past camps or have seen past been at past track drops or whatever, you will have heard my music from the movie and seen scenes from the movie. This is the ending of the movie. It's kind of freaky. It's kind of like emotionally intense. I will be okay. So, whoever is recording, would you be able to stop recording while I play the video because the thing is that with the video, I want to share the video of the scene at the same time as the music. But I can't we can't put the video of the scene online anywhere.
I think Eric can do that. It's just just pause the recording for now. We'll watch this and listen to this together. And then later we can drop in the track drop with just the music. Is that okay?
That sounds fine to me.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Are we being protective of the copyright and all of that stuff?
Yeah, and also with the director of the film wants to put it on wants to put it on film festivals and stuff, which I think would be awesome. And we can't do that if any of it is published online anywhere.
Okay.
So
that sounds fine.
Yeah, so important that this doesn't get published online, but it's okay to be shown just like this. Okay, so do I have the ability to share my screen? I do. Okay, one sec.
You lost your head to a fantasy and sold your name to a king, but you never seemed so afflicted, never meaning to see tomorrow, tomorrow. Broken glass in a cemetery, the scattered lights like the green. Still the visions keep you from dreaming dark. This feeds off the fear inside you, it blinds you. Hey, I figured you might be out there somewhere, waiting for something. Eyes shut, the thunder and clouds are coming, bringing the rain. All the tendencies of our lives to hold us, promise us nothing. All now, gently into the night, hard loving the memories of your sleep tight. The fleeting tide of the remedy, styrofoam comes and see. Step aside, you can't fight the prison hide until they decide to find you. Then relax your soul. Hey, I figured you might be out there somewhere, waiting for something. Eyes shut, the thunder and clouds are coming, bringing the rain. The tendencies of our lives to hold us, promise us nothing. Fall now, gently into the night, hard loving the memories of your sleep tight. Poison is sleeping now, I can't find the door. Don't leave me alone here to fight the war. But tell me who I'm meant to be. Find the hope inside of me. Somewhere waiting for something. Eyes shut, the thunder and clouds are coming, bringing the rain. All the tendencies of our lives to hold us, promise us nothing. Fall now, gently into the night, hard loving the memories of your sleep. Hey, I figure you might be out there somewhere waiting for something. Eyes shut, the thunder and clouds are coming, bringing the rain.
that canon was realized during on Dawes. I think, how many people participated, Eric, on this in this canon?
7 or 8.
7 or 8?
No, it was a little under half this year.
So I would say the lyrics are created by the campers, oftentimes referring to things that only mean anything to them. They're esoteric, and it is sort of like a camp song, sort of, and it's a canon. And we will end tonight's program after a lot more than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was an hour and a half program, 19 pieces. We'll be done at 8:30. Well, it's after 10. Let's listen to the canon and call it a night. Thank you so much for everyone who came tonight. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause. And now for the JCI 2021 canon.
WWX and D, what could it be? Now what will it be? Zoom, zoom, don't crash on me. Joe on the sofa trying to sleep. Diet Coke and dial soap. 12,000 steps, 12,000 more. Poor little pizza stuck on the fridge. Grow up, grow up. WWX and D, what would it be? Now what would it be? What could it be? Now don't press on me. What would it be? But trying to see. Just don't press on me. Just so trying to see. 12,000 steps, 12,000 more. 12,000 speeds are stuck on the floor. 12,000 steps are stuck on the floor. What could it be? Now what will it be? What could it be? Don't crush on me. What could it be? But trying to see. Don't crush on me. Trying to see. 12,000 more. 12,000 speeds are stuck on the fridge. 12,000 speeds are stuck on the fridge. 12,000 speeds are stuck on the fridge. Grow love.
That is not self-explanatory, but it's all it needs to be. Grow off, grow off.
Roll off.
Groloff.
What is Groloff, by the way?
You saw the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Steven.
He's a combination of Gru from Despicable Me and Olaf from Frozen. That's my understanding of it.
I'm getting sick of explaining this. I drew it during the draft.
Yes.
And then it spawned this whole Groloff frenzy.
Well, congratulations. It is a frenzy. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. It is now 10:13 Central Time. Have a good night, and we will keep you informed. I will be sending out a link to both our track drop on our Koi site and also on YouTube. Thank you, and have a good night.
Bye, everyone. Grow
Bye.
love.
Good night.
Farewell.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, all.
Bye, everybody.